We and our governments are just starting to grasp and grapple with both the intended and unintended consequences of the digital world. And though they only launched last year, the journalists at The Logic have already vaulted themselves to the forefront of that pursuit. They went straight to the top, to the very inventors of surveillance capitalism itself, Google, its parent Alphabet, and its Sidewalk Labs subdivision. They broke some of the earliest stories about the proposed high-tech community in Toronto's Quayside. They raised concerns about third-party contracts, real estate dealings, and internal governance. They tracked the vast and multi-pronged lobbying effort, and they exposed what we now have come to realize was a shocking lack of oversight by Waterfront Toronto, the public arm of the project, in relation to how Sidewalk Labs plan to collect, use, share, or sell the vast amounts of personal data they'd be collecting. That oversight is happening now. The Logic describes itself as covering the innovation economy, but this is not niche reporting. It's not a tech beat, because big tech has implicated itself into every aspect of our private lives and our public participation. Its size, wealth, and power are transforming our economy and our democracy. The reporting The Logic is doing may begin in technology, but it's helping us define our human rights and the meaning of the social good in this brave new world. Please join me in congratulating Zane Schwartz, Murad Hamadi, Sean Craig, and Amanda Roth, who will accept the prize.
Thank you so much. On behalf of all my colleagues that unfortunately weren't able to join me tonight, the ones that weren't able to join me, Zane, Murad, and Sean, but all of the colleagues at The Logic, I'd like to thank the Sydney Hillman Foundation for this incredible honor, as well as the judges, for sure. Our coverage of this story began with something as simple and crucial to journalism as checking lobbying records. What we saw, the registry of 3 Sidewalk Labs affiliated companies to lobby the City of Toronto, what was the result of a November 2017 meeting with John Tory, was the first real glimpse into what was going on behind the scenes of this extremely important project. The pushback that we received from that story only solidified its importance to us. Since the announcement of the partnership between Waterfront Toronto and Sidewalk Labs in October 2017, and up until The Logic launched in June of 2018, there had been few insights into what the two organizations were ultimately planning. And in a time of growing concern surrounding big tech's influence on society, there was little understanding of what Sidewalk Labs, the Google sister company, Alphabet subsidiary, specifically would get out of the deal. And it's that lack of understanding that has plagued the partnership from its outset. The initial announcement, which included Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, then Premier Kathleen Wynne, and Toronto Mayor John Tory, provided the public with a few misconceptions. One, that Sidewalk Labs had partnered with all 3 levels of our government. 2, that the project had already had firm government support. And then 3, most importantly, that it was all a done deal. And those misconceptions only grew in the following months. The partnership was named Sidewalk Toronto, and where Waterfront Toronto's role as a public steward ended and Sidewalk Labs' role as a private partner began, got a little hazy. It was important to us to provide that clarity and clarity to all the facets of this project. And that was only the beginning. What followed was concerns about data and privacy, some resignations, a provincial audit, all of which we were able to uncover thanks to careful cultivation of sources and the many courageous individuals who chose to speak up about what they were seeing behind the scenes. While all 3 levels of government remained tight-lipped about their opinions, and despite their presence at that initial announcement, it was access to information requests which provided a look into the government's reaction to that process. It took carefully combing through hundreds of documents to discover crucial email communications and briefing notes that provided the insights and additional details that the public was looking for. Every one of the more than 1 dozen original exclusive stories that we were lucky enough to publish about the project have been proven accurate as the project has moved forward. Every one of them provided crucial information to a public starved for details on a project that could impact countless people and influence how future projects were handled. So I want to thank, or I want to again, on behalf of my colleagues Zane, Murad, and Sean, and myself, thank the Sidney Hillman Foundation. It means a lot to us personally as young journalists, but it also means a lot to us as an organization, a startup news publication that hasn't even been around for a year yet. I want to thank our incredible editor-in-chief, David Skok, sitting at the front there. He's been a fearless advocate for the journalism that we've done over the last number of months, and from the very beginning, of this endeavor, and he was crucial to every single one of the stories that we published. I want to thank Catherine McIntyre, also at the front, for her support, her thorough editing and thoughtful insights. I want to thank Hannah Lee, she's also at the front. Now that I've done this, I have to do this every time, for her meticulous copy editing and fact-checking, which made every one of these stories spotless. And all the staff at The Logic, Alex Brown, Jessica Galang, all of their help and support was instrumental to all of these stories. And I want to emphasize that while there's 4 of us up on the screen here, it was in every sense of the term a group effort. So on behalf of all of us, a young publication, thank you so much.